If you feel as if you suffer with social anxiety in any form, if it's quite severe or if you just feel nervous around people, you feel uncomfortable around other people, a little exercise to do is to see if the situation that you're afraid of, see if it is actually dangerous. So if I asked you, what's the worst case scenario? What do you think you're most afraid of when in social situations? Do you think you'll get into a physical fight? The answer is probably no. So if you try to imagine what you're most afraid of, really go inside and feel what you don't want to happen, what you're trying to avoid. So it could be something like people laughing at you, or people judging you in a certain way, people pointing out things that you don't like about yourself. Anything that makes you just feel uncomfortable. So normally when we think that might happen, because we feel like we don't want that to happen, we feel a resistance, and usually it takes the form of anxiety. So that anxiety is kind of there to try to keep you away from a situation that your mind has kind of labelled as bad or dangerous. It's almost like a defence mechanism, a way to avoid being harmed, and a way to keep safe, to avoid danger. So if you invite that situation, just imagine it, really feel it, feel what it's like to be judged in a certain way, or to be laughed at for a certain thing, or criticised for a certain thing. If you really picture it and feel it and imagine it, it might feel uncomfortable at first. If you don't try to stop it, if you don't offer resistance to it, if you let it happen in your own mind, in your own imagination, then just see what it actually does to you. Normally we feel like we're basically going to get destroyed by a certain social situation or a certain judgment from someone. It feels like we're losing our old identity, or our identity is shrinking and getting smaller, and it feels like we might disappear, we might lose who we are. If you can invite the situation, let it happen, and just feel what changes. Does anything actually change? Do you die? Would you still just be standing there or sitting there? Does it kill you? Does it actually make you smaller? It might feel like it does at first when something contracts, but what's behind that? There's something behind that that doesn't shrink, that doesn't contract, that doesn't expand. It just is. It's the space behind your personality, behind who you think you are, behind thoughts and emotions, and behind the sense of looking. There's a space. And sometimes uncomfortable situations push you back into that space and out of the tight, claustrophobic sense of being a small, separate individual. So invite what you're afraid of inside yourself and see what happens to you if it changes who you are in any way. And when you get to a point that you don't feel as if it changes who you are, then that fear is going to diminish, because it will no longer be seen as a dangerous situation, something that's going to make you less or make you disappear. So I hope that helps, and if it doesn't, or if it does, let me know in the comments.